Well, very good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the 2017 version of CurtainHighNetwork.com live streaming sports. I'm Vance Palm, joined by Tom Myers. What a big night we have here. It's a scrimmage night. More on the word scrimmage later, but first of all, let's talk about this unbelievable view we have of the southeast part of our city. We can see Bear Mountain from here, Miramonte High School, Arvin High School, and the host, Golden Valley High School. We're at the GV Field down here in the southeast part of the city. Pleasure to have everybody with us, this 2017 venture. Very exciting time for us. Got some new guys coming in to help this product become even more enhanced for all of you that are out there watching these great sporting events. Yes, we're going to do more than football, you know that, but tonight it's all about scrimmage. It's kind of like week -1. It's not really even week 0. Let's bring in Tom Myers, longtime voice of Frontier Live Sports, the PA announcer for all Frontier Athletics. Tom, first of all, good evening. Nice to have you here. As we're up on top of the announcer's booth, you know, we talk about scrimmages, and boy, it sheds light on both sides of the ball like nothing else.
Yeah, it's pretty fantastic watching these three teams out here this afternoon. And, you know, they started around 5 o'clock, so it's a little warmer, and hopefully it's going to cool down a little more as we get to the varsity teams coming out. But there's definitely some talent at the lower levels that we're going to see in a couple of years, or maybe even next year. And hopefully that'll be indicative of what we're seeing here on the field right now.
We were watching the Golden Valley Junior Varsity squad, and they have 2 running backs in their backfield that are freshmen. And they were putting a number on the defense. Some of the young guys up on top that are doing the filming were like, oh yeah, these guys are really, really good, and they're going to really enhance this Golden Valley running game. So you've got coaches that are watching the freshmen, you've got coaches that are watching the sophomores, and then when you get to be an upperclassman, time to strap them up even tighter than that. This is the CurtainHighNetwork.com's live streaming sports. Our producer, director, KW2, Kyle Wiley. We have Kevin Willie, our longtime cameraman with us. He's the oldest guy in the crew, so Kevin Willie, we call him K1, KW1. And we're going to welcome in this year Antonio, Todd, Julian, all of these talented professionals bring a high level of skill and technical acumen to our production. So we're looking forward to a great season. We have schedules that we're going to get out to. You'll be able to catch us on CurtainHighNetwork.com, Facebook, YouTube, and of course KHSD Athletics at KHSD Athletics for Twitter. It's going to be a big year production-wise for all of us in here. So Tommy spent a lot of years in the booth on that microphone saying, you know, pass was caught by Tom Smith for a first down. Go Titans. Now a little bit different. What are your thoughts knowing that what you say tonight has the potential of being heard through the internet of 5 billion people?
Yeah, and recorded for all time apparently. So any mistakes that I make are definitely going to come through. You know, it's funny because oftentimes we have conversation after the play is over where the button on that mic is not turned on, so people don't hear exactly what we talk about when we're up in the box over at Frontier High School. It's definitely going to be exciting to be able to discuss in an open forum all of the things that we see when we're out on the field and be able to explain that to the folks at home.
Once again, that's the voice of Tom Myers. He is a longtime public address announcer for Frontier High School. We're going to have him for some games this year. Pretty busy schedule with kids all over the levels of school and college, and for both of us. And Tom's going to give us 2 or 3 games this year. I might try to twist his arm when we get into the postseason if we can do some stuff. So pleasure to have Tom with us. Well, looky here. KW1, Kevin Willie roams over to try to do his best to make me sound like a spry young chicken, but it's not happening.
That might have been me instead. You never know. I kind of blow these microphones up pretty good.
Once again, welcome everybody. That's the end of the JV side of it, or sorry, the freshman side of it. The Frost's off on the 40-yard line, shaking hands. You can see there right in your screen. They're saying, hey, thanks for the work. Next week it's for real. Have a great season. Being the Arvin Bear that I am, that's right, public address announcer. I wish I would have recorded that. Go Bears. So the freshman side is done. A little bit more time left here on the JV side, and then that field is going to become exclusively the property of the 3 varsity teams, Miramonte, Golden Valley, and Arvin High School. Last year, we had our burgeoning effort. It was our inaugural year for our Curtin High School live streaming sports, and it wouldn't have been possible without the names that Tom and I are going to bring to you. First of all, our sponsors that were just so phenomenally hip to it, open to it, ready to go. Current Schools Federal Credit Union, United States Army, PAV Solar and Communications, Premier Lighting, Tony's Pizza, and Raymond's Trophies. Thank you to our sponsors. And Tom, these people, muscle, heart, and soul, got
It would be remiss if we didn't thank Superintendent Dr. Brian Schaefer, Assistant Superintendent of Instruction Dr. Brenda Lewis, Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services and Innovative Programs Dr. Dean McGee, and of course our own Director of School Support Services and one of my favorites, Mr. Stan Green.
So throughout the season, you'll hear thank yous to our sponsors. Appreciate them. When I say they were hip to it, I mean, we talked to them about it for a short time, and they said, yeah, we're go. Let's get going. Let's get this thing started. So thank you. As we get into the varsity game, we'll start to let you know about the administrations and the staffs of each school. I want to certainly thank ahead of time Golden Valley Principal Paul Hellman and all his team, and we'll name all of them here in a little bit. Arvin Bears, my Arvin Bears. I grew up in the Garden in the Sun. I call it God's country. The head coach is Edgar Mares, and been there a long time, and he is one of the longest tenured coaches, if not the longest tenured coaches in the area. Coach Denman retired to Tehachapi, so now who's the next oldest guy? Sorry, Edgar, I know, buddy. Well, you'll let me know about that. We've got the Arvin High Bears, and we'll get into their rosters, Tom. But, one thing I can tell you about Arvin from my years of watching it is always very disciplined, well coached. The depth of the pool of talent from my hometown ebbs like the ocean. Sometimes it's big tidal waves of talent, and sometimes it's low tide down there, out there. But they're always going to fight.
Arvin never disappoints. They always show up to play, and the funny thing is they don't get a lot of love, and that's the great thing about the network and what we're doing now is that we're getting out to the other programs that don't get all the attention like the BHSs and the Liberties, and Arvin definitely deserves some of that attention. So really looking forward to it. Arvin's on the schedule this year. Their opener is at Highland High School, and Highland, of course, they've been competitive the last couple of years.
Baseball team won it all, so you got some athletes over there.
Yep, that's right. And then they take on Foothill right after that. So they're, hopefully, we're going to see a little bit, of a battle right there because Foothill's definitely fighting and working on their program, trying to get it where it should be. Soon after that, they take on South on the 8th.
Yikes! What a start.
Yeah,
Highland, Foothill, and South
that'll be their
for the
first
Bears.
home game. And then Miramonte after that. So tonight we're going to see a little bit of scrimmaging between these two squads. And then on the 15th of September, that's when we'll see it. Then Taft Union after that. That's going to be a tough one.
First league
at Taft, and that's their first
the
league
open
game.
league at Taft.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep, and then followed up by Shafter out at Shafter. So, and then after that, they're going to take on Kennedy up in Delano, and that'll be at home on the 13th. And then on the 20th of October, Bakersfield Christian High School. I got firsthand knowledge last night of Bakersfield Christian High School.
I want to talk to you about that a little later.
Yeah, and then, Wasco Union High School out at Wasco. And then they'll finish the season at home on the 3rd against Chavez at Arvin High School.
So that's a look at the Arvin boys varsity football schedule, and it is going to be a tough one for Edgar Mares and his Arvin Bears.
They definitely didn't pad their schedule this season, did they?
Our host school, Golden Valley, and I've done a lot of games out here, and at times we have seen some of the most phenomenal individual efforts by some of their key featured athletes at certain positions. I remember some nights where running backs were running up 220, 230. Some great nights out here at Golden Valley. Next week, they will be at Taft Union High School, non-league game. But anytime you go to Taft, get ready to rumble. It is a tough football town and always strong on the running game. Absolutely. And then after that, they will host Cesar Chavez. And then, how about this? Centennial High School right here at Golden Valley. And then 2 in a row, they'll take on Shafter here. And then they take on Highland. And then they start league. And it's at Ridgeview, home against Independence, at Tehachapi, home against West. And then they finish their league at East. And if I'm hearing some things about East as well. I was at the volleyball scrimmage and I'm not going to let any cats out of any bags. But I'm hearing some good things about East. So Golden Valley will finish their league at East High. Boy, that's going to be a lot of fun. And then, Tom, our final school that we'll talk about, Miramonte, starting to put some things together. Young school and, very much like Arvin as far as geographically where they're going to be able to pull from. So what's the Miramonte boys varsity football schedule look like?
They're going to start off 4 home games stand. First game's against Strathmore. From up north. The second game on the 18th hasn't been determined yet. Actually, I don't know if the schedule is correct now that I'm looking at it. And then they have Kennedy on the 1st of September, followed up by East at East High School. Actually, we'll be streaming that game live here on the Kern High Network.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and
so you're doing. Hold on, you're doing that game.
I'll be doing that game,
ladies and gentlemen. Ears around the world, don't miss. Well, watch my game and listen to mine, and go back later and watch Tom's September 8th. No, that's going to be great. At East High School, they're going to be hosting Miramonte. Is that your first game?
That will be the first game that I've ever broadcast. Yes, that'll be the one that I'm cutting my teeth on. So
Kevin Willie, it's that's the night, September 8th. I'll lose all my viewership. Everybody's going to shift to East High School. Tom Myers calling his first game.
Yeah, we know that's probably not true. But
no,
that's going to
be. First of all, it's going to be a fun game. What's that?
Takes the pressure off.
Yeah, dude. I'm going to let you know. I'm going to text you how many people are watching you. I'm going to know, and I'm going to say, all right, it's up to like 600 now.
Are we going to have a contest?
Well, I'm going to have the PA announcer tell me, when did Tom start realizing, oh wow, there's a lot of people watching this. Okay, so keep going. That's a big game. I'm going to enjoy that.
It looks like they have a bye on the 22nd of September, followed by Roseman High School, South High School, both of those games at home, followed by North High, and that game will also be at home.
I'm looking forward to seeing North as well.
Yeah, and then they'll follow it up with 2 away games, the first one at Highland and the final game at Foothill.
So that's a look at the 3 schedules of the teams that we have going here. We still have a little bit more JV action on the field, and junior varsity for Golden Valley, as we mentioned a few minutes ago, have 2 running backs, and they've got some bloodline football of older brothers that we'll get to a little bit later. Some really talented running backs from Golden Valley, and we're looking at the freshmen walking in front of the crowd there. Boy, that's got to be a lot of fun. You're 13, 14 years old. You've just gotten out of junior high school. You're playing your first high school scrimmage. You got the pads, the helmets on, and fun moments. Football right around the corner. Get ready.
And for a second, I almost said varsity because they have some large boys down there for a fresh-off squad.
Oh, goodness.
That's impressive.
When we pregame at the varsity game, we'll go down pregame. Well, we go down on the field for these high school football games, and these guys, I'm 6'5", and they've got cleats on and helmets, and they're 4 inches taller than me, and I'm thinking, my goodness, these are some big guys, and we'll get into the rosters of these teams as we get going. But once again, we want to welcome everybody into our first live streaming session for 2017 for the Kern High School Districts. You are watching and listening KernHighNetwork.com. I'm Vance Palm and Tom Myers and the entire crew here. We'll step away from the microphone for about 5 or 6 minutes, get everybody ready to go here, regroup, and we'll be back in about 5 minutes. Don't go anywhere. We're staying live. Once again, everybody, good evening. Welcome to Golden Valley High School, the southeastern part of the city of Bakersfield. We are at the foothills of Bear Mountain, just off into the distance. Great night here again. Vance Palm joined by Tom Myers, the voice of Frontier High School Sports. We're lucky enough to have him here tonight. And Arvin High School is in possession of the football. They are one of three teams in this three-team scrimmage. Arvin is now on offense. Golden Valley, the host school, on defense, and waiting patiently on the sidelines, the Cardinal and Gold of Miramonte. So Arvin High School on a second down, if you will, inside handoff. It's a nice run out, stretch out to the far side. Good run, good solid run, about 6 yards to the 44-yard line. So the Arvin Bears showing some speed. Head coach Edgar Mira's over there with his clipboard. He's clapping. Great thing about scrimmages, Tom, that coaches are right there in the field. They're right there in the quarterback's ear. They're able to talk to him. It has a feel sometimes of that arena football when the coach is right down there close to him. That's one thing I really love about the scrimmages. They can hear the players conversing in between plays.
Yeah, they also have a better angle at who's making blocks, who's in their assignments, who's making it through the line on the defense. It's definitely a different vantage point from what they normally have when they're on the sideline.
If you're on the coach on the sidelines, you really don't. You're not going to hear what's being said. You're not going to get a real feel for that exact feeling right in that group of 11 guys in there. When you're standing 3-4 feet away from them, you get to look in their eyes and you get to see, all right, here's a big 3rd and 2 right here. Let's see what happens. Of course, on the scrimmage, there's no down markers, no chain gang, if you will. Really, the refs are looking for, blatant violations, and a big, strong move by that Golden Valley defense up front. And the Arvin Bears, as we mentioned, coached by Edgar Mares, and the head coach for the Golden Valley Bulldogs is Eric Smith. Referees also kind of getting their briefings, and you can see some of the veteran referees down there having some opportunities to explain to some of the younger guys, or at least guys that are maybe not so young, but it's the first time out doing this, becoming involved in it. They're also talking to them about angles, where should they stand for the best view. Here's Arvin. Again, they stay on the ground. Confusion on the ground game. The handoff barely makes it. So a perfect example of first week scrimmage football. Arvin Bears always, as we talked about in kind of our pregame, if you will, always a tough team, always bringing it, always have that fight in them. They got a strong running back in there. And one thing I will tell you about scrimmage football to our viewers and listeners, numbers in scrimmage football are meaningless, Tom. You might be looking at a quarterback that's wearing number 4 tonight, and next Friday night it's number 13. So we won't try to dazzle you out there with exact numbers on certain guys.
Yeah, usually the rosters are nowhere close to correct at this point, and usually these guys are using practice jerseys as it is, so they're not in their normal number. They're not some plays and just trying to get a feel for some things and get the jitters out of some of these players. Some of these guys, this is their first year playing varsity ball.
There was a nice run to the left side by practice jersey number 31, a stretch play, a long 22-yard gain. So we're seeing that Arvin right now grinding it out, and no doubt in the scrimmage, element or scenario, try to run as 10, 12, 13 run plays and start your pass plays, and it's fun to watch.
And they're showing some different talent from some different running backs. They've used probably 2 or 3 different guys so far, going up the middle and around the sides.
In the shotgun, a lot of movement. Again, they bring it to the inside. Talented young running back waiting for his opportunity, but it didn't happen. Loss of 3.
That offensive lineman didn't really get the hit on the defender that he thought he was going to get. He's the one that took the brunt of it.
Tom will call the offense for whichever team has the football next. I don't know if Miramonte will come on and Golden Valley goes off, or vice versa. But you're up next on offense, buddy. Bears break. Ball's on the 32-yard line. Let's just say right now there's about 12 minutes left here in this first quarter. This time, nice little slant inside. Gets the ball up to about the 22, 23-yard line. What a nice, tough run by the Arvin Bears.
Yeah, he got about 10 yards on that play, and it was a scrum at the end with the offensive line really pushing to get every inch out of that last run that they possibly could.
Our director, producer extraordinaire, I was off by 1. I think I did say 12, but 12. Each team plays 12 plays. We're starting with Arvin on offense, of course, Golden Valley on defense. When they started, they put it on the 50-yard line, and the penalties aren't going to count against the series total play count. They're going to redo all play penalties. You can sub players at any time in the scrimmage, which is nice. Coaches keep track of their own team's play count. So we're getting into the deep stages of Arvin's offensive effort here. This Golden Valley defense really, really all over that football. So the Arvin Bears showing some positives and some negatives here.
Yeah, Golden Valley had some penetration on that last play, and it really didn't give the running back much of a chance to get out and around the end to where he wanted to go.
Each team's going to get 48 plays. Next up, Miramonte is going to come out on the football, and the Arvin Bears will take a break. The Arvin Bears will be on defense, and then Golden Valley goes over, watches the film, talks about it, comes back out. Modern-day scrimmages, Tom. Modern-day scrimmages. You go watch the videos right there in the field and then come back out. So another sweep out to the far side. And that's a good gain right there. The Bears down to about the 15, 14-yard line. So they moved it 37 yards. Again, welcome everybody. You're enjoying with us KernHighNetwork.com's first live streaming effort of the 2017 season. Vance Palm here with Tom Myers and the entire crew. And we have a top shelf situation taking place this year in 2017 with the high school district, and appreciate all of Kyle Wiley's efforts to get us rolling here. Arvin getting close to their last play in the shotgun. They've stayed on the ground every single play. Coach Mira's doing the quintessential scrimmage timeout call. Hey, you guys come here. Hey, come get over here.
That's generally how it works during these types of scrimmages. And again, being out there on the field, if he sees something that he doesn't like, when they go to get lined up, he's more than welcome to pull them back, get them, get the play in that they want, line them back up, and get everybody started.
They're on the 15-yard line. They'd like to get the ball in the end zone. It's a bootleg. They are going to go to the air. Quarterback rolls here to the near side, fires one out. It is caught at the 10-yard line, but a nice tackle by Golden Valley. So about a 4-yard gain. First throw of the evening. Get a chance to see the arm of the young Bear quarterback. And I would rather not even mistake a name. Do you have one, do you think?
The tackler on that was Ronnie Simrell. He's a junior. And he's a cornerback over on the left side. And that was definitely a good hands tackle on that one.
The Bears still have the football, so if this is not the 12th play, it's the 11th. It's getting close. Each team gets 12 offensive plays, and then they switch sides of the football or take a break. Oh, inside handoff gets up to about the 7-yard line.
Vance, one of the difficult things about scrimmages like this, sometimes they run the chain crew and sometimes they don't. So it's hard to gauge. Unless, of course, you're going to be studying film later on down the road about how many yards you gain on certain plays.
That's a great point.
What works and what doesn't.
So the Arvin Bears on their 12th play get to the 8-yard line. So a 42-yard aggregate, if you want to call it that. So they got a 42-yard net, and they moved the ball pretty well. And, Tom, I must say, did you notice what I noticed? There was not a single turnover. The ball didn't get turned over in the first 12 plays for the Bears, and that's something they can take away from this.
Yeah, everybody's holding on to the ball, and and no penalties.
Didn't see a lot of them.
Yeah, there may have been one, and now we look down in the end zone. Golden Valley's down there. They all pulled up a seat. They got the monitor set up down there to take a look and see where they are.
Wow, love it,
yep.
Love it. So now, Tom, your Miramonte squad now on the field. It's all yours, big boy.
Yeah, Miramonte headed up by Coach Dave Cauldron, and they're lined up and getting ready to go get their offense started here. Quarterback looks like he's going to be working out of the shotgun. And they're going to start at the 50-yard line and handoff up the middle, and it's a good run. It looks like on the first play, he's all the way down to the 10-yard line, gets tackled, made it all the way down to the 8. On the run, number 10, Hector Serrata.
So you think.
Well,
a lot of funky numbers out there.
The current roster that we have shows that it's Hector Serrata. So
I'll tell you what, that's a really strong, talented kid. It wasn't just that he outran everybody towards the end, it's that he blew through that line, and that's a big kid.
And there was nobody in the secondary to meet him. The linebackers had committed and come up, and he pretty much blew past that. So now they got a first down and goal to go at the 8-yard line. And he's going to drop back to pass, and he's met by 3 defenders on the play, and he gets dropped, about 5-yard loss on the play.
One thing about, first scrimmages, the offensive line assignments, a much discussed part of the first pieces of the puzzle, when you're starting to put together this varsity football team, the offensive line, where are you leaning, where are your shoulders, what's your footwork, who has who?
Yeah, that second play was definitely different than the first play was, where they controlled the line of scrimmage, and obviously there's a distinct difference between blocking for run and blocking for pass. So he's lined up now. He's still in the shotgun. He's got a running back behind him. He hands off on the left side. He's brought down just at about the line of scrimmage, maybe about a 2-yard gain on play, and there's a penalty marker down on the field.
So that's the third play for Miramonte. Once again, if you're just getting with us, if you've just arrived here and everybody's letting you know, hey, they're up again, they're out again, I hear them again. It's the KernHighNetwork.com live streaming presentation of high school sports here for the Kern High School District. You can find us on Facebook and YouTube, and we are at KHSD Athletics. If you're tweeting, we want to hear from you. My name is Vance Palm. We've got Tom Myers with me. Tom on the call right now.
And they're going to mark off a 5-yard penalty. The thing about these scrimmages, they don't always tell the fans in the stands what the penalty is. It was probably either a false start or a legal procedure on the play. Once again, he's from the shotgun, but the ball snapped to the floor, and the ball's thrown up at the end zone, and it looks like another flag's coming out. That's going to be pass interference on the defense.
Funny, Ed Gamera's the head coach is watching him. I saw him talk to the ref. He goes, that's a push-off. That's a push-off on the receiver, of course.
Yeah, he's always going to battle to get the play called in his favor.
Well,
and so we're waiting to see what the call is going to be over here. And again, it looks like we've got, offensive pass interference. That's going to go against the offense.
Well, that's exactly what Ed Gamera's was telling that official in the corner back there. He said, hey, he pushed off, and, what are we supposed to do? So about the fourth play for the Miramonte squad. Again, this is a scrimmage. 3 teams, Arvin Bears, Golden Valley Bulldogs, Miramonte. And I'll tell you what, it could be a lot hotter than it is. It could be a lot hotter. I've done some week zero scrimmages, and it's still, 102. And then you watch the news at night, and you see games being played in New Jersey and Boston and New York, and people already have their parkas on. Not here, baby.
Miramonte moved back to the 24-yard line. Still working out of the shotgun, running back behind the quarterback. Wide receiver down here on the near side. And it looks like there's a little confusion on the play. Mm-hmm. And the coach is going to ask for a quick timeout so he can go over the play with his team.
It's kind of like, it's very much like, like a dress rehearsal right before the big show in front of stand, but you've got fans watching it, hearing it, listening it. So it's also a teaching moment for these young student athletes to realize, that's on me, that's mine.
That's right. And the other thing that's kind of nice so far that one thing we haven't seen is haven't seen a lot of chippiness yet. Usually the first time out of the season, some of these guys are coming in pretty pumped up, and they can sometimes get a little bit hot with each other, and you'll see pushing and shoving and a little bit of grabbing and some things going on. So
that's my partner, Tom Myers, setting the stage for some later activities.
Miramonte once again working out of the shotgun at the 23-yard line, and the quarterback goes to handoff. It's a fake, and he goes on the quarterback draw. And the ball's out.
Fumble!
And the Bears look like they've got it.
We talked about no turnovers in that first 12 play span for the Bears, and then they caused one here, and it's scooped up. And you know what I saw? What I really loved seeing was the effervescence and the excitement of recovering a fumble, even though it's a scrimmage.
Are you
kidding me? They're like, hey, we've got our first one of the year. So the ball will come back to the 50-yard line.
Yeah, they'll move it back to the 50. Usually on these scrimmages, once you've either thrown an interception or if you have a fourth down, they'll move you back all the way to the 50-yard line. So Miramonte once again will start first down and 10 to go from the 50-yard line. And every play so far they've worked out of the shotgun. So once again, they'll go from the shotgun, running back in the backfield, and wide receiver comes in motion around the left side. And it's a quarterback draw on the left side, and he's brought down, gain of about 4 yards on the play.
It looked nice, that option pitch relationship between the back and the quarterback. When he gets out there, so many times that relationship gets a little too close and it's not a nice pitch, or they're not getting along and the relationship isn't right. But that looked like it was set up very well for a later pitch. But
there was good distance on that by the wide receiver coming around the end. And the defensive end had to negotiate which guy he was going to go after. So usually you're right. If it's too close, he doesn't have to worry about who he commits to. He can take them both. Okay, Miramonte once again at the 47-yard line from the shotgun. Quarterback around the right side. And he's going to hold on to it, but it looks like there's going to be a loss. There's about 6 defenders on him, and he's going to lose about 3 yards on the play back to the 49-yard line.
Hey, you just talked about the chippiness, and it is happening. A couple of big Bears down there, really fleet-footed defensive players for the Bears that just swallowed him up. Again, everybody, the rosters as far as names are really not to be factored in tonight. A lot of these jerseys get put on, and it's funny because some of the practice jerseys for the varsity Bears, on the back of their jersey that says Cubs.
Yeah.
For the Arvin Bear, for Arvin, it's the Cubs freshmen, the Bruins JV, and the Bears are varsity. So you've got some Arvin players with Cubs jerseys on, so it's not them.
And I've even seen a few Lions that don't even have a number on their jersey.
The quarterback doesn't.
Yeah, the quarterback. We don't know who it is. So
he doesn't want to get scouted too much.
So whoever the quarterback is, we apologize to his parents.
It might be by design. So they say, hey, don't go after that guy. I know that the right guard is number 0. Pretty old school football.
Lions once again working at the 49-yard line out of the shotgun. Running back in the backfield, and they got a four receiver set. And he goes to pass. That's the first pass of the game for the Lions. And the receiver's brought down at the line of scrimmage, run out of bounds by the Bears, number 31.
Flag on the play. I think what you'll see is something to the face. There might have been a slap to the face or some type of face mask, and so the officials threw it. They're going to talk it over with the coaches, let the coaches know, and they're actually going to go backwards. Will they go backwards?
Yeah, it looks like it's going to go against the Lions, except in this case they really just move it back to the 50 and start with first down again. So the Lions at the 50-yard line, first down and 10, working from the shotgun once again. Running back in the backfield. 3 receivers. And it's a handoff up the right side. And he's met immediately at the line of scrimmage by about 3 of the Bears defenders for no gain.
Arvin will take a break after this and go over to the south side end zone where they have a 42-inch flat screen monitor and a replay system. Really great. They can review all the previous plays for instant feedback before the next series. That's great. What a great idea. So Arvin will head to the south side of the end zone, and they'll do some technical work with their eyeballs and their brains.
Miramonte at the 50-yard line, second down. Quarterback working from the shotgun. He looks to his left, and he lets it go over the middle, and it's overthrown.
Got a nice touch. He didn't. Nice little feathery touch on it, just a little too long. Stood there in the pocket, took it, waited, took the heat.
Actually, the Lions did a pretty good job of blocking on that play. There wasn't too much in the backfield going on with that one. That'll bring up third down and 10 for the Lions at their own at the 50-yard line.
Once again, everybody, we're at Golden Valley for a 3-team scrimmage here tonight. Next week, it all gets going for reals, as they say. And the host team, Golden Valley, Arvin traveled about 14, 15 miles to get here, and Miramonte traveled about 5. So a nice geographically designed 3-way scrimmage.
That's right. Miramonte, once again, 3rd down and 10 at the 50-yard line.
Watch for the big fella, the tight end right there, 87 in the slot, looks over at the quarterback. They make eye contact.
They got a 4-receiver set, and it's a fake handoff, and it's going to be a quarterback draw, and the ball almost came out, and he picked up 3 yards on the play.
Well, those Bears are hungry, aren't they?
They sure are. They're swatting at the ball as much as they possibly can right now, trying to get that thing to come out. So they've got it marked. Correction, I stand corrected. It looks like the officials have it marked as 2nd down now. Once again, without any chain crew working from, it's a little difficult to tell what down it is. And once again, this is a scrimmage, so the down and distance usually don't matter too much.
At Golden Valley High School.
Change of quarterback for Miramonte. Snapped the ball from the 47-yard line, and the ball's mishandled a little bit. He picks it up and heads around the left side, where he's met by a bunch of defenders. And that looks like that's a loss of about 1.5 yards on the play.
And they're getting close to their 12th play. No, that's it.
And that looks like it's going to be it.
So.
Yeah.
I thought so. So now we get Golden Valley back on the field, and they're going to play against Miramonte. Take this time to thank Paul Hellman, the principal of the school, one of the nicest gentlemen, most professional principals here in our area. I've interviewed him. I've talked with him. I've been down the field with him pre-games and half-times. And, Paul, thank you so much. What a fantastic job you do at the school. That's Paul Hellman, the principal. The assistant principal of instruction, Jerry Antoine. The assistant principal of administration, Erica Pierce. The dean of students, Pablo Reyes. The athletic director, our good friend, Robert Haskell. And the activities director, Valerie Black. To Golden Valley, thank you so very, very much for your hospitality. And we'll let you know about Miramonte and Arvin in a few more minutes. But here we go. Tom, you're doing such a great job. I'm going to back away. It's all you.
You're going to defer and let me have it. All right.
You got it, buddy.
Okay, so now it looks like the home team finally has their first chance at offense on the field at the 50-yard line.
With a tight offense, man. They've got everything tucked in. We just watched 2 teams in the shotgun and spread it out.
Yeah, they were looking to spread. Looks like he's going to go under center directly. The Bulldogs notorious for having a good running game with some really strong running backs, and we're going to see where they are here. The running back only about 1.5 yards back, and he's met immediately from behind the line of scrimmage. There was good penetration on that play.
Well, the Miramonte coach is happy with that. Clapping their hands and said, that's a good start on defense.
Yeah, the Bulldog coaches, they aren't out on the field right now like some of the other ones have been. They're staying pretty much to the sideline as much as they can right now, letting the offense kind of do its job, trusting that they have had enough practice, they know what they're doing. So a yard gained on the play, actually, and the Bulldogs taking it from the 49-yard line, 2nd down and 9. And it's a handoff. He cut back on the left side and came back to the right, and he got around the right side. He's all the way down to the 10-yard line, and he's going to get in. Touchdown, Bulldogs.
What a great run.
I thought he was done in the beginning. When he headed to the left, it looks like he was going to go down.
Ronnie
Simmerl, the junior. Yeah, we mentioned his name earlier.
And after a tough stop right at the line of scrimmage for the Bulldogs, they answered back immediately with a 49-yard jaunt down the near side.
Yeah, he started to the left side and got shut down and bounced to the right. Came all the way back around the right side and got pretty much on the outside of the defenders, and they made a wall and made it all the way down the right side for a touchdown. And so now it looks like they're going to be on their 4th or 5th play, the Bulldogs. And they're going to be put back at the 50-yard line to begin a whole new set of plays. So it's 1st down and 10 at the 50-yard line for the Bulldogs. Quarterback under center with the running back 1.5 yards behind him. He drops back to pass, looks left. He finds a receiver on the left side. He's met by 2 defenders over there, and that's going to be brought down at the 42-yard line. And the Bulldogs having some success here early. And right now I'm joined by Kyle Wiley, Kyle's the guy that puts this whole thing together for us. Kyle,
Tom, how you doing?
What do you think about this evening, man?
Tom, I'm so excited to have you part of the team. I got to know you the last few years, and you are truly a good guy, and you care about kids, and it's all kids, and we've had those conversations, so I'm very humbled that you would join our team. Excited to have you part of this, buddy. You really am.
Thanks. I'm glad to be here. The Bulldogs at the 42-yard line. And it's handoff up the left side, and there's the big running back, and he's just lumbering down the left side. Number 48, he's breaking tackles, and he's going to make it all the way down to about the 15-yard line. Quite a run on the left side, and they just couldn't tackle him or bring him down.
That's Roberto Enriquez right now. He's one of the featured players for the Golden Valley Bulldogs. He is a tough runner, both sides of the ball, both on offense and on defense. One guy for Golden Valley you really want to pay attention to is number 3, Carl Jones. He's kind of this hybrid guy that can play a little bit of quarterback, play a little bit of running back, do a little bit of wide receiver. Basically what Coach Smith told me before the game, we just want the ball in his hands. And so he's kind of doing a little maybe Ryan Matthews we've been kind of seeing around like he did in 2006 his senior year.
Yeah, Bulldogs 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line, and it's a handoff once again on the left side.
And if it ain't broke, keep giving it to Enriquez.
That's
right
right,
there.
Enriquez.
He's number 48, yeah.
Having success, about a 10-yard gain on the play. And that's going to bring up second down and about 1 yard at the 5-yard line. And right now, looks like Miramonte's back on their heels. They're just getting manhandled over there on that left side. That's the second time he's run that direction.
Yeah, and what they're trying to do is maybe look at that odd man front right there and find those gaps as they come to this 5-man front right now. They're trying to get into those A gaps and get right between that and maybe see if they can bounce it out. Looks like there was a whistle that was called that's going to blow this play dead. But
yeah, and surprisingly, they didn't give Enriquez the ball in that play.
yeah.
Instead, they put him in there as a battering ram.
Yeah, maybe a little thunder and lightning action.
That's right.
Going
Yeah,
on
a little
there.
misdirection. That's what you're going to look for.
Absolutely.
So that's going to be offsides called against the Bulldogs.
We're excited here at the Kern High Network, the direction that we're moving. As Tom said earlier in the broadcast, we want to try and hit every school in the Kern High School District. So we are going to go to Shafter. We are going to go to Kern Valley. We're going to go to every single school and make sure they get a little bit of love and a little bit of excitement. Make sure you follow us at KHSD Athletics to see all the highlights and replays. Even on Kern High Network, we'll see that as well.
Yeah, and the Bulldogs back to pass, and the ball comes loose. That's a fumble. And it looks like it was recovered by the Lions, so they get a stop.
Absolutely. They had a little bit of pressure right there on there. We see I think that the quarterback, Carl Jones, held on to the ball maybe a little bit too long, and maybe that just shows that maybe not the natural quarterback, but just an athlete. He's got to put 2 hands on the ball when he gets back in his drop and not just hold it back with one to allow him to fumble.
Yeah, he was holding that ball out there like it was a Christmas ham, and I'm sure his coach is going to have something to talk to him about that. So it's going to move the Bulldogs back to the 50-yard line. I think they're on play 8 now. And they're going to have first down and 10 to go at the 50-yard line.
Tom, I got to say, you are a natural. Ladies and gentlemen, this is his first time doing a broadcast on here, and he is excited about doing this. And I'm just so glad, once again, I can't say it enough, that he is part of the Kern High Network team.
And the Bulldogs at the 50-yard line. And it's handed off up the right side, and he bounces to the outside. And he gains about 2 yards on the play, brought down by 2 defenders for the Lions.
One thing you want to notice about the Bulldog offense is they're going under center. If you paid attention to Golden Valley the past few years, a lot of 2x2, a lot of 3x1 under the shotgun. Talking with Coach Smith beforehand, he's got some juniors and seniors that have never taken a snap under center, which is a big adjustment coming into your junior and senior year. But he thinks he's got some sort of zone scheme coming on here for his run game, and he's talking about throwing the bubble screen a little bit quicker on that too as well under center. So let's see how they adjust to
Yeah,
this.
Bulldogs 2nd down and 7 at the 47-yard line, and the quarterback throws a backwards pass to the wideout over there on the left side, and he gets around the left side, taken out of bounds at about the 34-yard line, forced out of bounds by a Lion defender.
And I think that's the play that we're just talking about, a little bubble screen so we can get it out as quickly as we can. And if we can get about 10 yards, 12 yards of pop that we see right here, good things are going to happen for the Bulldogs.
And, the Bulldogs definitely have the speed to be able to run that play to get around the outside. Not a lot of teams can pull that off.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, if you have speed, they tend to be taking this lead kind of like a BHS type of mantra, where they're going to beat you with speed, and they're all going to be tight, up underneath the line. So
and sometimes that takes the pressure off the linemen up front. They don't, if they miss a block here or there, hey, the ball's already out to the edge. So
sure, first down for the Bulldogs, and he drops back to pass the quarterback, and he's going to keep it. And and he throws a defender off, still on his feet, coming back to the right, and he's taken down at about the 22-yard line, a gain of about 13 yards on the play.
Once again, that's Carl Jones right there. Him being an athlete, doing his thing right there. You could see how dynamic with that little spin move. This play is definitely going to go onto our Twitter feed right here, so you can take a look at some of the things that he can do.
Yeah, Jones is definitely a playmaker, and he doesn't look like your prototypical quarterback. He looks like a guy that should be running the ball or catching it on the wide receiver spot. So now the Bulldogs have the ball at the 20-yard line, first down and 10 to go. Once again, Jones under center. And it looks like we got a false start. Right tackle on the right side, number 77. And that'll move them back about 5 yards. Now, again, in these scrimmages, sometimes they move the ball, sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
It's a scrimmage. I know if I was going to be on the defending side, the last thing I want in a scrimmage is for somebody to score on me, so I want them to move that ball back.
Yeah, and I think what it does for the offense is they got to get used to that punishment for getting started a little bit early. So that 5 yards coming back, see how they respond.
Yeah, that's right. And it's a handoff on the right side. And he breaks a tackle, makes it between two defenders, and makes his way up at about the 17-yard line.
That's Cedric Kim right there, kind of a two-way player, both at the running back and the linebacker position. One thing you kind of love about high school athletics is you got a lot of two-way players that are on there.
And definitely so far, we've seen several people touching the ball for the Bulldogs. So they've got a lot of weapons that they're going to be putting at their disposal this season.
And when you have a scrimmage, you like to experiment with those guys. Which guys are going to step up? Which guys are going to play hard? Which guys, certain position, who's going to get the ball?
Sure, third down for the Bulldogs at the 17-yard line. Quarterback under center drops back to pass. He looks left. He throws one up. It's into the end zone, and touchdown, Bulldogs.
Perfect pass play right there by Carl Jones. And Kern County, you need to watch out for this guy right here. He's a dynamic player. As you can see him run the ball a little bit, spin. But that's a great ball right there. And he put it in a spot where only his receiver could catch it, kind of maybe a little bit of a back shoulder, but it allowed his receiver to be the only one to catch the ball.
Yeah, that defender, I don't think he knew what was coming, and that ball ended up just right over the top of him in only a spot that the receiver could catch. A great pass by the quarterback.
And as the DB, you need to be playing that belly button or even those arms right there and not worry about the interception. What I think a lot of young DBs try to do is you want to play through the ball, so as the receiver's going up at its highest point, you want to rake through the arms and knock that ball down and make sure that he doesn't score. And if in doubt, if in anything else, tackle the guy, don't let him catch the ball. So hey, I'd rather take a pass interference than 6 points right there.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So we're getting down to the last few plays, it looks like, here for the Bulldogs. And they're, once again, march back to the 50-yard line where they'll get a whole new set of downs. And they'll start from the 50-yard line. First down and 10 to go.
All right, I'm going to put Vance Palm back on it. He is the talent of the Kern High Network. So here he is right now.
Kyle
Thank
Wiley,
you, ladies and gentlemen.
Kyle Wiley, everybody. Great having you on board with us again this year. Thanks for setting this up, putting it together for us.
Dude, what's with the sweaty headphones? Are you kidding me? Good call on the TD. Golden Valley, here already you can tell they've got some.
They got a little firepower. First and 10 once again from the 50.
The big fella.
And once again, Enriquez running the ball, and he lumbers forward. You know, the guy doesn't have a ton of speed, but boy, can he just get through the hole.
Tell that to the guys the next 10 weeks to see him coming at him.
Yeah, no kidding. Quarterback or running back in the day, in my day, in '89, Leon Denweed.
Exactly right.
Earl Campbell thighs, and he was about 5'3", and the guy could run. And when he was coming after you, you sure knew it. Well, this kid has definitely got some size to him. And he's really moving through the hole while the blocking up front is doing fantastic. And the Bulldogs have the ball at the 36-yard line. First down and 10 to go. Handoff from the slot receiver, and once again he runs into a brick wall on the left side, but cuts back to the right. That's the same play that he ran a few plays back where he scored that touchdown, and he's forced out of bounds at the 36-yard line.
Actually thrown down quite a bit of outbounds, probably about 5 yards out of bounds.
25-yard line. Was there a flag on that play?
Yeah, the officials called it. They said it was a late hit, and that's a good call to make. You know, early in the season, you know, it wasn't overly malicious or ill-intended, but it's a good call for these refs to make.
But it shows the frustration of Arvin.
Yeah, they thought they had them.
And what they're going through right now,
They
chasing
had
these
them.
guys around the field and trying to get them in containment.
That's the voice of Tom Myers, the voice of Frontier High School Sports, and he's going to grace the KernHeidenNetwork.com's ambitious efforts this year. We're going to have 2 games going on. More on that here a little bit later.
Bulldogs first down and 10 at the 25-yard line. He looks left and finds his receiver at the 20-yard line for a pickup of about 5 yards on the play.
Right now, we've got Golden Valley on offense, Arvin on defense, Miramonte down there taking a break, looking at the screens.
And, that's a great thing to also look at. The film was set up for all 3 teams to be able to use that today. So it's really nice that they're sharing all the technology so that each team can see kind of how things are going for them during the course of this scrimmage. And the Bulldogs getting set for the next play. We're getting close to their final set of plays. They're at the 20-yard line. And there's just a bit of a delay on the field. Everyone's trying to find their assignment and get set. Once again, the Bulldogs have yet to take a ball from the shotgun. Everything's been under center, and it's a handoff to the up back, and he lumbers forward for a big gain of 8 yards on that play. They really pushed through the hole on that one.
3 Bears jumping on his back. Principal at Miramonte High School is William Sandoval. The assistant principal of instruction is Zach McNitch. The assistant principal of administration is Leah Hatton. The dean of students, Jessica English. The athletic director, Joshua Valenzuela. The activities director, Kathleen Buford. That is Miramonte, and they are on the south side of the football field right now, looking at the screen, doing some tech work. Great idea.
And the Bulldogs have the ball. First down and 10 to go at the 12-yard line. And there's some sort of a delay by the official.
Well, they broke the huddle. The Bulldogs broke the huddle, and they're on the north side of the field. Arvin coaching staff on the north side of the field, so they're actually behind Golden Valley, and one of the Arvin coaches wanted to tell his players something, and the ref said, hey, you got to step back a bit. Look at this.
And the ball is handed off on the left side, and he pushes forward.
Unbelievable.
Good gain, 10 yards on the play.
And 3 Bears on his back again.
And again, they are just running the ball.
What a big team they have.
Dominating up front.
Golden Valley with the early attention for their size and their speed. They're not just big, they're big and fast. So
yeah, they're not missing too much up front right now, Vance.
We talked about that schedule. They start off, here at home against Taft, and then Cesar Chavez.
Well, and how about this? Enriquez lined up in the backfield, and of course he's going to block on this one, and it's handed off. And touchdown Bulldogs. And of course, that frustration coming out once again. There's a flag on the play.
A late flag and another flag. Oh boy, a really late flag. So, Tom, you talked about not having some chippiness, and it's 30 minutes later though.
Yeah, not having
guys are hitting each other now.
Success up front will dissipate that really fast.
Let's talk about Arvin High School, my Arvin High, the Garden in the Sun, God's country. Principal Ed Watts for the Arvin Bears. The assistant principal of instruction, Brandy Ball. The assistant principal of administration, Robert Moore. Dean of students, Jose Garza. Athletic director, Ralph Gonzalez. And activities director, Lori Ambrose. So those are your 3 schools' administrations. And so pleased to have them a part of our first night. And they'll go back to the 50-yard line.
Yeah, personal foul called against the Bears on that play.
2 of them.
And again, the point is moot now because they scored a touchdown, so that would have been declined in the event that this were an actual contest. And I don't know how many plays the Bulldogs have left. It seems like they've done about 20 of them.
I think they have 3 plays. I think they have nine plays already. Let's see. Pardon?
Oh, yeah,
Right.
But it seems like they've done about 20. All right, so once again, the Bulldogs going back to what works. Enriquez in the backfield, and they're first and 10 to go from the 50-yard line. And quarterback under center, he's going to take it direct snap. Vance, my money is on Enriquez getting the ball on this play.
I'll take the bet. He's not.
And he's not. He's into block, and there's a pass over the middle.
Oh, what a beautiful pass.
Threaded right past the defender. And the Bulldogs make it all the way up to the 23-yard line before being brought down by the defender.
I'll tell you what, for August, what is the date, 18th? For August 18th, that is the one crisp-looking spiral right as you said, Tom, threaded the needle. So that's a very promising sign for Golden Valley.
Yeah, and for a guy who is not a prototypical quarterback,
right,
he put that ball right on the dot. And the Bulldogs, that'll bring them all the way up to 23-yard line. First down and 10 to go. And once again, Enriquez in the backfield. And they drop back, throw a bubble screen out to the right-hand side. And there's a penalty flag on the play. They get about 2 yards on the play.
That may be spearing. That might be a penalty for safety precautions and early in this scrimmage. And I'm not going to be surprised if they call that on the running back. They caught that. Let me see.
Yeah.
It is.
It's helmet contact. And you know what? They're really careful about that in this day and age. You know,
he dipped his head as he came in.
That's right. When you draw the crown of your helmet to make contact with another player, they're going to call that on you every time.
We're at Golden Valley High School. I'm Vance Palm. The other voice is Tom Myers. Boy, what a crew we have. Kyle Wiley, Kevin Willie, Antonio's right next to me. Todd is roaming the area, making sure we are absolutely as crisp as we can possibly be. And our good friend Julian breaking in on the other camera. You're watching Julian's angle. So, Antonio, do you approve of Julian's angle? The big thumbs up, the real human emoji, flesh thumb.
Bulldogs getting down to the last few plays at the 20-yard line.
Last few?
First down and 10 to go. If this isn't the last one.
They started in July.
They sure did. And the quarterback back to pass. Oh, and he's met immediately coming off the right side. The defender sacks him in the backfield. 10-yard loss on the play.
Big rush. Nobody picked up number 1 from Arvin, and that was just like, hey, if you don't get rid of it soon, you're mine. And that's exactly what happened. So a big sack. Not a single person touched him.
And they gave him a liberal spot at the 26-yard line.
Liberal for who?
That would be
liberal for
who? That would be
who?
liberal for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Exactly.
And the Bulldogs 26 at the 26-yard line, second down. And once again, and they got a new running back in now. So Enriquez is taking a break, it looks like. Actually, no, they have him lined up on the left side in the slot to block.
Oh.
And ball handed up off the right side, and he gets to the 29-yard line.
Big contact on the hit there.
The Bears tightening it up just a little bit at this point, trying to get their defense to have a couple of good moments here in the last few plays.
I was out talking to our cameraman, Kevin and Julian, while you had the incomparable Kyle Wiley on the air with you. So I didn't hear. Did you happen to talk about schedules for next week or games that are coming up or anything, any tidbits like that?
Yeah, we haven't discussed any of the schedules for next week. Next week, most of the games, actually all the games are non-league. And there's quite a few games coming up in the next couple of weeks. You know, we have 2 broadcast teams that are going to be working. Vance, of course, yours is one, and mine is the other. And then we have a couple of other games that I'm not doing that other guys are going to be doing throughout the season. And we're really excited to be announcing games and working with Kyle and you and the rest of the Kern High Network.
Next week, can I tell them where I'm going to be, or you want to hold off?
Not yet.
Oh. Big surprise. K-Dub2, the younger kid, saying, hold up, VP, hold up on announcing anything yet. He goes, did you say the word surprise, or can I say it?
Bulldogs once again at the 21-yard line under center, and he drops back to pass. He looks right and left, and he scrambles left. Looks like he's going to hang on to it, and he gets to the 15. Oh, and the tackle just missed him. He's still on his feet. Oh, and the ball's fumbled out of bounds.
Huge crackback block on number 5 from Arvin. He felt it, and he's down. That was a big hit, kind of the you got to keep the head on the swivel kind of hit, and he's going down. So our first big hit of the season.
And our first injury of the evening, which for the way that they've been going at it, it's really surprising we haven't seen someone down on the field before.
Maybe, hopefully, just got the wind knocked out of him because he was up and he went down for a second. So that'll give me an opportunity to talk about the ambitious efforts that Tom just touched on right now. I got a break in the action. We're at Golden Valley. For you that are on Kern High Network, appreciate you being here tonight. We have two games for most of the season. We're going to have 2 games going on, so you'll be able to watch both. And we also have ambitious plans for other sports, of course. Volleyball, very, very big in the fall. There's a lot of key matchups that we're going to be doing for that. And Tom's no stranger to volleyball. And, let me have K-Dub too. Kyle Wiley back on the air. Okay, our director, producer extraordinaire. I met Kyle last year up at Loomis in Sacramento for the semifinal championship game with the BHS Drillers.
Unfortunate.
Met him for the first time, and your first night we had almost 10,000 live viewers watching. So Kyle and I have come a long ways in 6 months. Quick shot questions for you.
Yeah.
Two teams, two announcing teams this year. Let's talk about that for just a second. Without commitments, but let's talk about it.
Absolutely. We have some veteran football guys that are going to be helping out doing some color, and we have some longtime veterans that have been around the broadcast scene that are going to step in there. Of course, we have Tom that is going to really help us out, bring that energy and passion. We just have good people.
Yeah, the night's not over yet. Don't be too ambitious.
Yeah,
the night's not over yet. We're not really done. We're not done with the gig yet to start, heaping praise. No, I'm kidding.
But we're just excited about this year. And if you go to the Kern High Network, you're going to see 4 video players on there, and we're going to run 2 games going on at the same time. We've already kind of tested the waters, and 2 games going at the same time.
Awesome.
It's like that ESPN experience that I think we've all grown to love and appreciate. And the ultimate thing that we want to have is we want every kid in the Kern High School District that participates in athletics to feel their moment in the sun, their spotlight moment, their Super Bowl per se, if you want to have that.
Boy, sure appreciate that. We're at Golden Valley. Now, Arvin High School has the football. Oh, a nice gash right up the middle. Gets them inside the 50 to about the 47-yard line. So the Bears back on offense. Miramonte on defense. Speaking with Kyle Wiley from the Kern High School District. Let's talk volleyball for a minute.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead.
This level of volleyball that we're experiencing right now in 2017,
Absolutely.
As we go into this fall season, there are so many good players on so many good teams, and there's going to be a little bit more parity this year amongst the power schools. I think it might be a little bit more surprising than people realize. There's some really good teams out there, so we want to capture that. We want to be a part of that.
Absolutely. There's some, we have our Liberties going to be back, and they're going to have some talent back. Of course, Stockdale's going to have some talent back too as well. At BHS, they're going to have some talent right there, and this is near and dear to you, those high hopping Palm sisters, right?
Yeah, no, it's the league. It's not.
They got that from their mother, right? Not from their father. Is that correct?
Like I told you, the night's not over yet. There's another KW on our roster here that I could easily just slot in.
Absolutely.
No, volleyball is going to be crucial. So we're going to try to get 8 games. Is that what you think?
We have 8 games slated and a wide variety of schools. So once again, that people can feel the love. We are going to build on volleyball next year, but we're really going to see what our base is this year and build upon that. And we're also going to do the volleyball all-star game, and we're going to do some other things too as well. We're going to continue into basketball season. Going to do a little bit more wrestling. I got the Poper on board, Daryl Pope and Brad Holt.
Let's stop there for just a quick second there. Yeah. Kyle texted me or called me and said, "You want to do wrestling?" And I said, "Absolutely, I want to do wrestling. Let's get it done."
Yeah.
So we did a wrestling match, and it was. Our numbers were literally climbing through the webcast. As we were live streaming, they were incrementally joining. The word was starting to spread, and by the end of the evening, we had a percentage hike, a percentage spike over a 24-hour span in wrestling. So we're in for wrestling again.
And we actually started at Frontier, and Tom was there doing a great job. And by the end of the night, at the SWIL League Championships, we're at about 1,000 views.
That's awesome.
Which is through the roof. And then we're able, by Jim Critchlow's good nature at CIF, allow us to do the Valley Championship at East High.
That was fun.
And it was just great broadcast. I think one moment that really stands out, I think of Sam Loera, who kind of came back
at the very end.
At the very end, in the waning seconds, and Daryl Pope and your call on there. I could just still hear it in there, and the celebration and the excitement in there. It was just a fantastic evening. And I think we're gonna, when we get into spring sports, we got a big play potentially right.
Oh, look at this!
Oh, wow!
What a beauty! What a beauty! That's a 45-yard bomb from the 45 to the 5, and a touchdown for the Arvin Bears. So we have it on camera. We were talking about some of our aspirations and goals that we've set for ourselves as we watch that beautiful touchdown by the Bears. You mentioned all-star games; those are always a lot of fun.
So last year we were excited, perhaps our biggest event, which just social media went crazy. And I have never seen Centennial's gym be so packed than we had in our all-star basketball game. And that's where McCall brought down the house with his windmill. Tom was there kind of emceeing everything, helping to organize everything. And VP was down there kind of helping out. I mean, it was just a festive atmosphere where there were lines about 45 minutes into the event because it was the place to be for that night. And it was just a great effort by the community to support what we're doing. We had the who's who of basketball out there, and we just had a blast that night. That was one of the most memorable moments I've ever had.
Excellent.
And springtime comes around in live stream era as we see a little kind of inside reverse that we see right here by your Arvin Bears.
Bears offense clicking right now.
But what we've seen in the springtime, we're going to try and get some baseball and softball to see if we can venture into that market, maybe a little track, maybe a little bit of swim. Just try and get as many different kids exposure because college recruits now, they're going to say, where's your film? Because film never lies, and they want to see that. So we want the Kern High Network not only be a place where you can watch live games, but every game is going to be archived on our website.
Kyle, when this venture first started, Stan Green was adamant that the listening and viewing audience and the community at large was cognizant of the fact that this is not just about football. It's not just about the gridiron and Friday nights. Granted, it was the platform that we started with because, frankly, on the calendar, what's first? Football. So we started with that, but we walked the walk and put a lot of different things out there for the student bodies and the parents and families to cover. So we will have 2 different games going on. We have a broadcasting core group of guys that kind of know what they're doing. That's going to be kind of fun to go through the evening with some really knowledgeable guys of our football sport. And with regards to schedules, is there a place or time as we get closer for –
You're kind of twisting it a little.
Listen to me.
I got you.
Will there be a time where
absolutely.
Mom and Dad of Tom and Katie Smith and that whole family, well, I'm making up names, but they'll be able to go to the website and say,
Absolutely. We will have, if you go to the Kern High Network webpage, on there'll be a calendar and a list of all kinds of events that are on there. And we're eventually going to get there. Kind of right now with the season getting going, we just kind of want the start of what we're doing to be kind of a good surprise of what's going to come up and all that stuff too as well. But eventually we are going to have the games where people can look at and stuff too as well.
That's the voice of KW2, Kyle Wiley, director, producer.
And I'm going to turn this back over to Tom. He's done a great job tonight, and this will probably be the last time I'm on. Thank you, guys.
You got that right.
Kyle, thanks for everything you do, man. We really like having you help us with this, and your efforts have not gone unnoticed.
The great jazz drummer Art Blakey once had a saxophonist come up to him and say after they were done playing, and he said, "Art, I just can't remember the last time we played together." Art said, "Tonight." The drop back pass gets up to about the 30-yard line, and Miramonte holds it at about the 32. But while Kyle and I were talking, Tom, we saw some sparks from those Bears.
Yeah, they're seeming to find a little bit of rhythm here, and they have a couple of playmakers that are really moving the ball and bouncing to the outside and dancing around a little bit. It makes it a little harder to tackle some of those guys that are sure-footed, especially the speedy ones.
This is a nice matchup right here, the Bears and our Miramonte squad. Lions defense. 4 down linemen for the Lions. Play action, bootleg, tosses it out there and maybe almost picked off for a second. So a dangerous pass. I mean, distance-wise, that's about 40 yards on the run.
Yeah, he was covered out there in the flat, and I'll tell you what, it's a good thing the thing was overthrown, because if it was thrown on the dot where he was, that would have been an interception for sure.
Boy, look down at that Arvin Bears coaching staff and see the nostalgic history of, that coaching tree from Chuck Chamberlain, and the whole tree just comes down to these roots of these guys down on the field down there. Great group of gentlemen, as all these coaches are. The time that's invested in these young student athletes. Short shotgun. Just sweep right down here to the bottom side of the field. Oh, a great second effort. And can it be more? Could it be more? Does he stay in? Touchdown, Bears.
And that was a great scamper down the sideline.
Took a couple big hits.
I thought a couple of times there he was going to get dragged down, but those hand tackles, they just couldn't seem to get a hold of his jersey enough to drag him down. And he kept the motor running and kept churning those legs and escaped out of the grasp of about 2 or 3 defenders and kept it in all the way down the sideline. Great run. And a little bit of success showing right here for the Bears. And they're going to move the ball back to the 50-yard line, and they'll start a whole new set of downs. So far we're seeing a little bit of offense tonight from both squads, and that's been really good. Hey, really quick, let's take a little bit of time and thank our sponsors. A real quick thank you to Kern High School's Federal Credit Union, the U.S. Army, Pav Solar and Communication, Premier Lighting, Tony's Pizza, and Raymond's Trophies.
Last year the Bears struggled, to say the least. They didn't win a game, but I spoke with some Arvin Bears over the past weekend, the last 7 days, some Arvin veterans that are close to the coaching staff of the football team, and they're really excited about this football team. They've battled the internal struggle with not winning a game last year. They had some close losses. Contreras, their quarterback, a junior. Colmenero, another junior quarterback. Velasquez, senior quarterback. These are all guys from last year's team. Looking at some of the stats and some of the numbers. Velasquez, their senior quarterback, at 1,344 yards. And they break back out of the hole. Ball's at the 50-yard line. One receiver down here in the bottom of the football field, bottom of your screen. Again, that triangle protection.
Yeah, inside handoff inside, yeah.
To the 40, to the 30, to the 20-yard line. A nice, strong run by the Arvin Bears.
And they're having some success inside, Vance. I mean, that's really the way that this is panning out for them. And it looks like the line up front is doing its job, and that running back is getting through that secondary.
So now that will do it for this segment. Coming up next, the final session of this first team football is Miramonte, Golden Valley. So the Miramonte Lions, Golden Valley Bulldogs will finish the first of 6 series by these teams. And after that, we'll take a quick break and come back and do the second team, and it'll be Arvin Golden Valley. So another 6 sessions. So if you are a football junkie and this is your deal and you're wanting to see some of the grassroots level of football, you're on it right here.
One thing about Kern County is that we have a great history of Friday night football, and this is an exciting time for the Kern High Network and us doing these broadcasts. I'm honored to be brought onto the team, especially with you, Vance. I've been a fan of yours for years, and I'd like to thank a few people, Stan Green for allowing me this opportunity, and Kyle Wiley. I'd also like to thank my wife, Christy. She's the one that's at home waiting for me sometimes because I'm calling games, but she's also my biggest supporter and my helper in the box. She's a teacher at Frontier High School, and she's been my spotter ever since I've been an announcer for 9 years now.
Wow, and they said it wouldn't last.
I couldn't do it without her.
Ball's at the 50-yard line. Break out in that Texas-style offense, 3 split way out to the far left side in the shotgun. Wipes his hands on his jersey. Wants to throw? Yes. Rolls to his left. Throws across the body. It's a nice shot out there to the far side. Look at this. Up to the 20-yard line. So really confident, poised, nice start to this drive for the Miramonte Lions.
Good 10-yard pickup. And once again, you'll notice something that you don't see with Golden Valley, and that's that they run out of the shotgun almost every play. And that helps, when they're trying to get the, running pass plays, and you get a little bit more time, but they had good protection on that play as well.
Hey, young man, KernHighNetwork.com. KernHighNetwork.com.
Yeah, you can watch the broadcast live or on demand anytime on the KernHighNetwork.com. Also, you can follow us on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter at KHSD Athletics.
That's great, man. Student athletes coming up to the window. How do you get on? How do you watch? KernHighNetwork.com is how you do it. And you talk about reality media. The fans coming up to the announcer's booth, telling them what we're on. They put on their phone, and they go, oh, hey, that's that guy talking right there. Cool. Ball's at the 40-yard line. Miramonte, I love their unis. It's like a 1930s USC squad. Real dark burgundy, and then that really strong gold stands out. Shotgun, one running back behind him at the 40-yard line. Everybody in tight except one receiver down here in the bottom. Movement everywhere. Look out, look out, look out. No snap, no snap.
Yeah, they're drawing a lot of players to that left side because they're running trips on the high side with a single receiver down low. And I'd hazard to guess that at some point that single receiver down low is going to be going deep with single coverage.
Just had somebody check in from the Lone Star State to say hi. So you're in Texas, buddy. Your voice is in Texas, Tom. You have any friends in Texas?
I don't have any friends in Texas, but I got a son at Fort Lee, Virginia, in the Army right now.
Awesome. Look out. Pass out to the far side. Golden Valley all over it. Loss of play. Once again, we're at Golden Valley tonight. Three-way scrimmage. Arvin, Golden Valley, Miramonte. My name's Vance Palm. Got Tom Myers with me. And what a crew. You got me, young man? That's me. How cool is that? Pretty cool, huh?
Great to have the student body passing around all the information for the Kern High Network and sending it all to their friends.
Modern technology. You guys sitting right below us, listening to us. Dig it. Hey, how about KW1? Kevin Willie on camera. KW2, our director-producer, Kyle Wiley. Antonio's right next to me.
With my cousin.
Dude.
Big thank you to those guys. They're the ones that make our job easy.
Yeah, but is he supposed to be playing Frogger during the game? Kyle. Then we have Todd, IT expert, and Julian, our new cameraman. He's a natural. You talk about a natural. I don't know how long he'll be on the camera. He'll be on the mic before the season's over. So great to have this whole core group of guys together. Special thanks to our main guy in the booth with us for Golden Valley, putting up with us. He had a nice, peaceful evening planned here for a scrimmage. He had the lights off, the fan on.
And then we raided his domain.
I thought he was going to have some incense. He had a nice little Friday night plan. The next thing you know, boom, boom, elbows coming in.
Public address announcers love it.
Yeah, right.
When guys come into their box
Isn't
and
that great?
Start nosing around. And I've had Vance up in the box at Frontier High School for a couple of years now.
Well, our man here
and we always welcome him with opening arms.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah.
Our man here called the police, tried to have us run out.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
They tried that bubble screen in that last play, and they've had a little bit of success in it, but that's how it can blow up on you really quick. If there's penetration, that bubble screen doesn't work very well.
Well, penetration with these scrimmages, where's the point of impact? You know, where's what hole is it? Where is it? And can this lineman get where they need to be so this talented running back can do what he needs to do?
Yeah.
It's all about that offensive line right now. And against Golden Valley, they are big, big, big. Look at that line.
That number 70, he's got to be at least 270 pounds. That's one big kid. And he's their nose guard, and he's lined up right above the center. And he just got penetration. And the ball looked like it's come loose. And it's recovered by the Lions.
Golden Valley's big.
Well, actually, I don't know. Maybe it was recovered by the Bulldogs because the Bulldog came up with it and handed it to the official.
Yeah, and
they're moving it back to the 50-yard line. Yeah.
So you heard it from Kyle Wiley. Surprise schedules coming out next week of where we'll be. Game 1 or Game A and Game B. I don't want to put a numerical norm. They're all important.
I think you get A.
Whatever. If it's
Pretty
A or
sure.
B. Got some really nice color commentators. They're going to be joining us this season, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait to hear from the people that are watching both games, going back and forth to the game. So,
I can't say yet who the color commentators are that are working with me, but I'm really excited to get to work with the two guys that are going to be working the games that I'm calling this season.
It's going to be a lot of fun, man.
Two guys I have a lot of respect for, and they are big time in high school football here in Kern County.
Hey, young man. Hey, was it good? Could you see it well? Was it nice? Well, yeah, pull it back and turn it sideways. Let me see how that thing looks.
I think that young man wanted a shout-out on the Kern High Network.
So
we can get his name.
What's your name, buddy?
Bryson Watson.
Bryson Watson from what school? Golden Valley. What year in school are you? A junior?
Well, Bryson Watson's parents, just so you know, he's here at the football game. And
you've been outed.
Doing everything he's supposed to be doing. So if he was grounded.
Okay. Turn it sideways. Let me see the audio and let me see the video.
And there's a small pickup on the left side by the Lions to the 45-yard line. And the official signaling second down. So that'll be second down and 5.
Pretty cool. We've got a ton of students down here with their phones, and they're starting to dial up the game. Pretty fun. I like that. Great way for the students to hear about their fellow student athletes. Bring your headphones or bring your earbuds, put them in. Check out the game, man.
Now, I'm not sure, is there much of a delay?
A little bit.
So keep this in mind, folks. If you have unlimited data, this will work for you. If you go out to the game, and we happen to be live streaming it that night, you'll actually be able to catch the play a few seconds after on your mobile device while we're calling the game at the location. Once again, if we're streaming it on the Kern High Network, so it might be worth it to tune in that evening while you're at the game.
No question. From the shotgun, stand at the 50-yard line. He's in big trouble. And
there was big penetration that time, Vance, by the defense. The Bulldogs really showing something on that play, and it's that big couple of guys up front. They've got 3 really big boys that are pretty much making all the penetration up in the front. They're really giving the offensive line everything they can handle right now.
That's pretty impressive. Got these young students down here checking this game out. So spread the word, boys. Spread the word. Thank you, young man. Good luck to you. That's nice, Kyle. No, what you're doing is great. These students down here have it on they're watching the game, so sounds nice. We're in the final matchup in the first team series of 6 possessions. This is Miramonte Golden Valley, and Miramonte with the football on the left side of your screen in the dark burgundy jerseys. Golden Valley on defense. Looks like it's going to be a delayed draw, and that did not work well for Miramonte. Swallowed up at the 49-yard line.
Defensive line, once again, Vance, making big penetration up front, giving them a real hard time dealing with that and pushing them back to the 50-yard line. Miramonte having a little bit of trouble. They seem to be trying to spread things out a little bit. But the Bulldogs stacking the box still, not buying. The 4-receiver set. So that's going to bring up, I believe, 3rd down for the Lions at their own 50-yard line.
When this series finishes, we'll go ahead and sign off, but we'll talk for a few minutes. I want to talk about a couple things before we sign off on this. Miramonte with the football, our final series for the evening. Option pitch, nice, he gets rid of it. Oh, what a beautiful pitch. Nice defense by Golden Valley. Big hit at the 50-yard line, but a couple of good things there for Miramonte.
A lot of ground covered for only a yard gain on that play.
And a big hit at the end.
Yeah, and they had a couple of guys out there to meet him, so they weren't biting on any kind of a fake, and the coach seems to be a little bit upset. I'm not sure if he was not thrilled about how that didn't work out.
Coaching staff, I think maybe a couple of plays left. Not sure how many left, but
well, it appears that they've changed up some of the personnel on their team right now. Because we're not seeing some of the same guys that we saw a little bit earlier. They may have shifted to their second team on offense a little bit early. And it's an offsides. The Lions working at the 49-yard line. That's going to get called, I believe, against the defense. And, of course, being a scrimmage, they don't pace that off, so they'll leave it be. And the Lions will go back and regroup in the huddle.
It seems crazy that it's football season. It just seems
it was just here, wasn't it?
And of course, fathomable that
we've been working together a lot this last year.
Yeah.
From football season to basketball season to wrestling. And we didn't get baseball season together, which I'm kind of looking forward to this next year. I'm really hoping we get some baseball in. And, the all-star games for volleyball and basketball that you and I work together, boy, those are just a joy and a lot of fun to do. It's a night where, as a PA announcer, I don't spend a lot of time showboating or rooting or doing any of that. I'm not a homer. I call the facts the way they are. I'm pretty much fair. I'm a big fan of kids, whether they are Frontier kids or Centennial kids or Liberty kids or Miramonte kids. I like kids, so I try to call everybody fairly, and that's a night that I get a root for everyone, and it's a lot of fun to be able to do that over a microphone.
Tom Myers, voice of Frontier Sports, and he'll be with us for some games this year on KernHighNetwork.com. Pleasure to have everybody here. We're about to wrap this up. Miramonte, last few possessions, and we'll have some closing comments. He comes down on the near side with it, has his man. Oh, receiver didn't see it coming. He was just sprinting out as far as he can go. KW2, Kyle Wiley, back on. What do you got, big man?
Well, I just want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. And like I said, we're using this scrimmage to really iron out some of the things so we can give you the best experience throughout the whole year. And so we're going to finish up with these ones and maybe get a few little in here, but we're going to call it a night in a few minutes just so we can really enjoy, that we can let everyone kind of enjoy stuff on Twitter and look at replays and highlights. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at KHSD Athletics or even on Facebook, Kern High Network, because that's where replays are going to be going on either one of those. We do got to make sure that we send a shout-out to our sponsors. Kern Schools Federal Credit Union and U.S. Army are our big financial supporters this year. They've really done a lot to help get the Kern High Network going in full steam. We have some other sponsors in Pav Solar, Premier Lighting, Tony's Pizza, and Raymond's Trophy that have really done throughout the years that have really helped us out. But we really need to recognize the people that really gave this a go and really support us from the beginning. That's our Kern High School District Board of Trustees, but even more specifically, Superintendent Dr. Brian Schaefer, our Assistant Sup of Instruction, Dr. Brenda Lewis, our Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services and Innovative Programs,
what a
Dr.
title.
Dean McGee. Yeah, that's a mouthful. But kind of the vision, the guy that hired me, that really has allowed me to have the freedom to do what I need to do to get the Kern High Network going in the direction. And we work together every single day, and we're bouncing ideas off each other. But that's Stan Green, and he is our quarterback. He is the vehicle behind everything that allows us to be who we are. And so we just got to give that shout out before we kind of sign off in a few minutes.
Thank you, Kyle. Next Friday night, get ready, get on the web, hit us up at the network. You'll see sooner or later where we're going to be calling the games. I think it's exciting. I really know where I'm going. I like that. I don't know. I don't have my plane ticket just yet, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to wrap up here shortly, but let's see what we got left. The Bears.
So, Vance, have you told the listening audience your position in high school football as an Arvin Bear?
As we've drifted into our second team series here, I'll let you know that my football career at Arvin was not nearly as lustrous as other sports, but I was a true gunslinger at Haven Drive Elementary School. I was the Bulldog gunslinger. And then when I got to high school and I still weighed 111 pounds as a sophomore, I said, no dice.
Never let Vance get to start talking about the old days.
That's Kevin Willie. Kevin, how'd our man do out there? All right. Well, we're going to sign off here in just a second. Tom, thanks, buddy. Good job. Look forward to hearing your calls. Thank you. Kevin Willie, thank you. Kyle Wiley, you just heard from him. We appreciate it. Antonio, thank you, buddy. Looking forward to working with you. And Todd and Julian, great job, guys. So get ready. Next Friday night, the Kern High Network will be live streaming some football games for you to enjoy. Hope you enjoy it. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, and we are tweeting at KHSD Athletics. Kyle.
One last thing. Pay attention this next week on KHSD Athletics and Kern High Network. We got some special things coming your way to really help kick off the season. Thank you for everyone that's supporting this. Vance, you want to give a sign-off or anything like that as well?
Sure do. Let's let Tom have his headset back. Tom, thank you, buddy. Appreciate everything you did for us, and look forward to your call. Well, what do you think? You've called some plays.
This is an exciting opportunity. I love high school football. I've been a big fan for so long and so many years, and I'm a big fan of kids. And this is an opportunity that I'm really looking forward to. And, to work with you is always an honor. Vance, you're a class act and a real professional. And I'll tell you what, folks need to tune in this season. This is going to be a great season of football. We've got some really exciting games. I'm not going to be on next week, but I'll be on the week after. And I'm looking forward to that game. I can't say where it's going to be yet. That information is to be named later. But, we've got an exciting lineup for people this year. Some really, really big games, and it's going to be a good season.
Thank you, Tom. Our final thank you once again, Principal at Golden Valley High School, Paul Hellman. Thank you. On behalf of everybody here that made it happen tonight, get ready. We are kicking off full steam, full bore ahead next Friday night. Everybody have a great week.